Hand High Football is brought to you by a grant from First Federal Savings and Loan Association of Medicine, serving the shoreline communities for 50 years.
You want to say something to me while the camera's running? Dale, set up for next game? Is there a place we can look up that goes like that? Yeah, we can bring it. We'll bring it next day.
Jim McGurry.
Taken down at the 19, and then
At
you can
right
say
back.
something if you want, like, nice
Murphy.
hit by Dan Martin, the linebacker for Notre Dame.
At left guard, number 52, Ash Edwards. At right guard, number 68, Bob Hughes. At split end, number 84, Scott Duncanson. At tight end, number 9, Tim Nye. At flanker, number 5, Matt Sullivan. At flanker, number 32, Chris Bryce. At tailback, number 26, Kevin Piggott. And at quarterback, number 12, co-captain Dave Thompson.
We belong here. We're going here.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please the national anthem.
There's going to be real loose.
Good evening and welcome to the opening game of the 1984 season. The Hand Tigers taking on the Lancers of Notre Dame of Fairfield. The first time these two teams have met. I'm Chris Wallach, doing the game with me this evening. Brian May from WLIS Radio. Thanks for joining us tonight, Brian.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here, Chris. I'm sure it's going to be quite an exciting matchup tonight.
Very exciting matchup anytime you meet a team that you haven't played before. And Hand, after coming off that tremendous year and losing all sorts of starters, it should be an interesting game, and we'll have to see how things go on the opening game of the 84 season. Notre Dame of Fairfield has won the toss and elected to receive. Dave Thompson giving final instructions to the kicking team. And of course, losing 14-12 in the Double M State Championship game against East Catholic after winning 21 consecutive regular season games. Big exciting night here at the Surf Club in Madison. Thompson boots the ball. It's fielded at the 10, up over the 20, the 25, taken down at the 29-yard line. And the Lancers of Notre Dame will start 1st and 10 from the 29.
James takes the kickoff at the 12, returns it to the 29. Looking first and
Setting the
10,
Hand
Notre Dame.
defense, the
Back on the
ends,
kickoff by number
Chris
82,
Bryce and
Bob
Timmy Nye.
Duncanson.
The tackles, Bob Hughes, Justin Murphy. The nose guard is David Green. The Rovers, Dave Thompson and Tim Wynowski. The linebackers are Morgan and Leckie. Piggott and Sullivan, the safeties. The play goes right, and it's stopped hard at about the line of scrimmage.
By number 56, Matt Morgan.
Matt Morgan in on the tackle, as well as Bob Hughes for the Tigers. brings up 2nd and 10 for
Gain
the
of 1 on the
Lancers.
play. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Notre Dame of Fairfield, a Class S school. And of course the Tigers in the double M classification. Second and 10. And the pitch is outside, up over the 35 to the 36-yard line. That's Johnson, stopped on the play by Kevin Pickett.
Matt Morgan on the stop for him. Gain of 5. It'll be 3rd and 4.
Rich Karoljian is the quarterback, number 12, 5'11", 175-pound senior for the Lancers. Doing most of the running for the Lancers tonight will be McCarthy, Gaines, and Johnson. The carrier once again is Johnson, and he stopped short of the first down, about 2 yards short, bring up a punting
Stop by
situation
number
for the Lancers.
14, Rob Pegnataro.
Pegnataro in on the tackle.
It appears to be short of a first down. It'll be 4th and 2 for the Lancers.
8 Shoreline championships in 14 years for these Hand Tigers. Pickett and Thompson drop back deep. Darren Johnson, tailback, does the running for the Lancers. High snap, it's retrieved nicely. And the punt bounced down at the 40 and takes a hand roll. 41-yard line. So Hand will have their first possession of the '84 season, 1st and 10 from the 41.
Seems like there's a little bit of breeze, Chris, blowing from the east, and that, or blowing, actually I should say from the west, that kind of held that kick up a little bit and gave Hand pretty good field position, so it looks like they'll be in pretty good shape to get things rolling here.
And Thompson will have the wind at his back, and Coach Ciani told me that they should be throwing about 20 times a game after only throwing the ball about 10 times last year, with, of course, Jimmy Bell doing the run of the work on offense, averaging about 10 yards a carry. Sprint out left. Thompson
right away.
Long. It's deep. He's got a man. He's out there. And he's taken down at the 5-yard line. Unbelievable opening play for the Tigers.
Inside the 10-yard line, the ball will be spotted at the 5.
Ball will be spotted at the 5-yard line.
Well, Chris, he didn't waste any time going up on top, as you said. Thompson's been known for those long bombs, and he wants to get him on the board early.
Sure enough, it's 1st and goal from the 5 for the Tigers. Gives to Pickett, off right tackle, and picks up about a yard. Taken down on the play by number 33, Mark Gaines, two-way starter for the Lancers.
No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and goal.
Second and goal for the Tigers. Less than 3.5 minutes into this game, and their Tigers looking to put 7 on the board quickly. They get over the right side, picks up another one. 3 to go now. 3rd and 3 for the Tigers. Still trying to identify the person catching the football on that long pass from Thompson. No number 7 on the schedule.
I believe it was Bill Leckie, I believe.
Bill Leckie, who came over to Hand from Clinton, along with his brother.
Beautiful 53-yard pass reception that got him in scoring position. Well, let's see what Notre Dame does now. They've held tough 2 times. See if they can keep him out this time.
7:50 to go, first quarter. Hand looking to put in their first touchdown of the season. Thompson looks left corner of the end zone. Pass intended for Timmy Nye, and it falls incomplete. Brings up an interesting situation for the Tigers. 4th down and 3. Both Dennis Simmons and Thompson, pretty good field goal kickers. But at this point,
it seems that they're so close, and it's so early in the game. I would think they'd go for it, but I guess they want to.
They're going to
talk it over. Yep.
These Hand Tigers, Brian, they lost 7 of 9 of last year's players that were all Shoreline picks. So 7 of those 9 graduated. And of course, included in that group, the state's most valuable player, of course, Jim Bell, who's up at Boston College now. And also second-team All-Stater Scott Schweitzer. who's supposed to see some action at wide receiver up at UConn. Of course, returning for the Tigers, all Shoreline kicker Dennis Simmons, and of course the quarterback Dave Thompson. And Tony Ricciardi, of course, the co-captain this year, and he's out with a separated shoulder for about 8 weeks or so, so that'll hurt the Tigers up front a little bit on offense.
And when you speak of these players like Bell and Schweitzer, Chris, just shows what a fine program Larry Ciotti has here at hand. Players going on and going on to very, very good programs, as you mentioned, at Boston College, and Schweitzer moving along to UConn. Was that you said?
UConn,
yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And of course, David Thompson received a big honor this year. He was named one of the top 50 high school football players in the country, and that's according to Street and Smith's College Football Yearbook. So I believe that's the first time for the Tigers. David Thompson, one of 4 quarterbacks mentioned in the top 50 high school players in the country.
No question that Dave has a big, big, big career ahead of him, and of course he's still got this whole season ahead of him.
Lots of noise, 4th and 3, the Tigers. Thompson fakes the Piggott, looks to the end zone.
Wide open. Oh, Chris, dropped it.
Lecky wide open, and he drops it. Well, it's early in the game, and you got to get the jitters out a bit. Lecky wide open.
After that big 53-yard bomb, though, Notre Dame was probably shaking a little bit. Looked like they hadn't quite got off the bus yet, and they lucked out, or so to speak, because that was wide open pass, and just couldn't hang on to it.
On the plus side, the Tigers will have Notre Dame here deep in their own territory. 97 yards to go for a touchdown.
And as we've seen in the past how the Tigers are very opportunistic on defense.
Here we go, 1st and 10. Give up over the right guard. Pick up of maybe a yard.
Number 33, Mark Gaines, carries for the Lancers.
Captain Mark Gaines.
It'll be 2nd and 8.
We'll call it 2 on the pickup, so it'll be 2nd and 8, 7:15 to go, first quarter action on a nice night at the Surf Club. A little bit of wind from Hurricane Diana blowing our way. Supposedly a little rain on the way, but right now it looks like it'll hold off. Pitch goes left to Darren Johnson, and he's dragged down.
Again,
Behind the line of scrimmage, loss of a yard. Rob Pegnataro and Bill Lecky in on the tackles. 3rd down situation.
Loss of a yard, it'll be 3rd and 10. Notre Dame from its 6.
3rd and 9 for Notre Dame. Option pass right. Well covered. Maybe intercepted by Piggott. And it's broken up nicely at the 35-yard line.
Pass intended for number 24, Bob Smith. Broken up by Kevin
Pass was
Piggott.
intended by Bob Smith, 5'7", 130-pound defensive back and wide receiver for the Lancers. Brings up a 4th down. Notre Dame will have to kick from deep in their end zone into the wind, and Hand should come up with good field position here.
Yeah, once again, they should really be able to get it on their side of the 50.
Darren Johnson punts the ball. It's a line drive punt. Piggott lets it bounce, and it takes a Notre Dame bounce. Picks it up at the 46. Piggott running left behind the wall. Crosses the 40 with a nice juke. Over the 35, down to the 30-yard line, and driven out of bounds. 1st and 10 for the Tigers from the 30-yard line. So good field position so far for the Tigers. They do have the wind at their backs.
Nice run by Piggott there. Picked up 15 yards on the return. When it appeared he was just going to let it die, he got another 15 yards back for Hand's offense.
Tigers go with Mike Ciotti at center. Ash Edwards and Bobby Hughes are the guards. The tackles, Jim McGooey and Justin Murphy. The slot is Sullivan and Bryson Piggott in the backfield. first down. The pitch is to Piggott. Running room left. Crosses the 25-yard line. Down to the 20. Spins down to the 23-yard line. First down for the Tigers. Kevin Piggott with very nice footwork.
First down for Hand inside the 20.
Inside the 20. The ball down at the 19. First and 10 for the Tigers.
Nice individual effort by Piggott. Picked up 12 yards and most of it on his own. He broke through, almost broke through the secondary.
Timmy Nye, of course, a nice target for Thompson this year at 6'4", 200 pounds. Scott Duncanson's got some nice hands. Matt Sullivan also some good hands. Thompson looks for Sullivan. No, he's pitching. Hits Nye with a pass. The flare pass goes out to Nye. He's taken down at about the 15-yard line.
Nye brought down by number 43, Jeff Caruglia. Gain of 4 on the play. That will be spotted at the 15, second and 6 for Hand.
Hand picks up 4 on the play, second and 6 from the 15, and we can barely hear ourselves talk tonight. The noise is just about deafening.
As usual, there's no lack of enthusiasm here at the Surf Club.
Lecky wide left, wing right. Throws set, looks for Lecky on the flare. Oh, it's a down, out, and down. Lecky. Pass overthrown.
For number 7, Bill Lecky.
Nice coverage on the play by Darren Johnson. Chris Welch also back there.
Well, the Notre Dame defense has really been tested early here, Chris. Hand having the ball down in the Notre Dame territory a couple times now, but so far Notre Dame has been able to hold them off.
Simmons
Big
now
3rd
in
and
at
6.
fullback.
Let's see what happens here.
3rd and 6, Hand from the 18.
Thompson, quick give to Piggott. Lots of running room. Up over the 5-yard line. Tripped up by number 33, Mark Gaines. First and 10 for the Tigers. Once again, the ball inside the 5-yard line. Ball at the 4. 4:40 to go. First
On
quarter.
the Notre Dame 4-yard line.
Just can't help get the feeling, Chris, that with the hand attack, that it's really just a matter of time before they put that ball over the goal line.
Well, the Notre Dame defense has been on the field a long time here in the first quarter. They should be getting a little bit tired. It's a power left in the I formation for the Tigers. First and goal, call it the 4. Give once again to Piggott. Gets down to about the 2-yard
The ball
line.
carrier stopped short of the goal line.
Piggott, the workhorse of the offense so far.
Number 78, Bob Dragonese, to number 23, Darren
A
Johnson.
shifty, quick
Right on
footed
the stop.
type of a running back. A little different from
Gain
the
of 2, it'll be
speed
second
and
goal
power
from the
of
2.
a Jim Bell last year. Piggott, very quick, good lateral movement.
It's getting a lot of work. Last time Hand was down here, which wasn't too long ago, Chris, they tried the ground attack and then on 4th down decided the option. Maybe I'm wrong, but I expect maybe Thompson may try an option right now and get the points on the board.
Lecky right, Sullivan slot left. Thompson drops back, looks for Sullivan, he's covered, hits Nye. Timmy Nye in the left corner of the end zone with his first touchdown of this season and the first for the 84 Hand Tigers. Thompson to Nye on a 2-yard scoring pass. 3:28 to go first quarter and 6-0 Hand.
Today, Thompson to Tim Nye.
Just simple drop back, and I was wide open over there for Hand's first TD of the year. Nice completion, nice play.
Dennis Simmons into the ball game. He'll look to add 1. Simmons, one of the best place kickers Madison's had here in the 14 preceding seasons. '15th season of football under head coach Larry Ciotti. As I mentioned earlier, 8 Shoreline championships in 14 years. Quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, quite a record for Ciotti, and he demands tough play out of all his players and all his teams he's had here.
Spot is down, and the kick is good.
The kicker is good with 3 minutes and 28
And with 3 minutes and 28 seconds to go in the first period, it's the Tigers 7 and the Notre Dame Lancers, nothing. Nothing Tigers. Thompson getting set to kick off, dropping deep for the Notre Dame of Fairfield Lancers. Co-captain Mark Gaines.
Darren Johnson, number
Darren
23,
Johnson.
Mark Gaines, number
They're standing
33.
at their own
Deep for Notre
10-yard
Dame.
line.
Dave Thompson to kick for a hand.
Thompson boots it high and deep. Fielded at the 7-yard line by Mark Gaines. Has a little running room left up over the 30. Lake driving up over the 35 to the 36-yard line. So the Lancers not bad field position. 1st and 10 from their 36, and we'll see what this hand defense can do once again. Only one starter returning on this revamped defense that allowed only 83 points in 11 games last
Incredible
season.
record.
Gave it straight ahead.
23, the ball carrier, Darren Johnson.
Darren Johnson, the ball carrier, pick up of 1.
Back by the center of the line. After a pickup of a yard, it'll be 2nd and 9.
2nd and 9 for the Lancers. To the bottom of the screen, that's number 30, Kyle McLeod, 5'9", 150-pound senior wide receiver. And Karoljian looks out for number 23, Darren Johnson. And he takes the ball up over the 50-yard line. Nice reception. Passed a little bit low.
Well, I think, Chris, what Notre Dame is showing us is that they use Johnson a lot, both out of the running back formation and on pass formation. So I think just from an indication of the early going here, he could be a man to watch for the Notre Dame offense.
The Tigers ranked 4th in the preseason poll after that tremendous season last year. Pitches to Darren Johnson, the man you just mentioned. He rambles up over the 40-yard line, spins, nice
fumble.
And he's taken down at the 39-yard line. The ball was loose, but the ground cannot cause a fumble, so it's a dead ball. It looks to be enough for a 1st down, so it'll be 1st and 10. From the 39-yard line for the Lancers, 2:22 to go, first quarter action. In case you just joined us, the Tigers in front of the Lancers by a score of 7-0. Full backfield for the Lancers. Karoljian. Oh, nice defensive play. Beautiful defensive play.
Taking up by number 14, Rob Pegnataro. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Lancers.
Knocked that ball away nicely on the quick slant. Movement on the line for the Tigers. Kevin Hughes appeared to be the one guilty of the infraction for the Tigers. So 5 yards is stepped off, encroachment against the Tigers.
5 yards. Ball is moved to the 34. It'll be 2nd and 5 for Notre Dame.
2nd and 5 now. 34-yard line for the Lancers. And the give is to Gaines. Captain Mark Gaines takes the ball out over the 30. Down
inside the 30, we start from number 7, Bill Leckie.
Bill Leckie in on the tackle. 1st down for the Lancers. Lancers starting to move the ball well.
Notre Dame 1st down. Ball spotted at the hand.
Getting some good surge from their offensive line. Bob Smith, bottom of the screen for the Lancers. Full backfield. Off the tackle to Gaines. Carries the ball up over the 25. Up the 24-yard line. Pick up of a couple.
Timmy Nye on the
2nd and 8.
The Tigers. Gain of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Timmy Nye in on the stop. Timmy had been out for a few weeks, injured in the preseason. Erosian pitches the ball left. Darren Johnson's got running room outside, tries to split, and can't do it. In on the tackle, Bill Leckie and Rob Begnatero. Ball just short of the 20-yard line. And there's a player down on the field. One of the Notre Dame of Fairfield players.
Gain of 4 on the play. It'll be 3rd and 4. We have an injured player on the field.
Well, that doesn't fare too well for Notre Dame right here. Johnson was carrying the offense, and now he's over on the sidelines. Not quite sure what it is. We'll see if we can get a report on his injury, Chris.
Tony Rhino to replace Darren Johnson. Mark Gaines, the ball carrier, and there's a flag on the play.
Flag on the play.
Holding. The call.
Preliminary call is holding against Notre Dame.
Justin Murphy, defensive captain.
Well, that's 2 bad breaks in a row, Chris. Johnson going out, and now taking him back on the holding call. So just when it looks like they were starting to mount a drive, 2 setbacks right in a row.
And up to this point, the Notre Dame of Fairfield team appear to be well coached and are executing quite well here in the late stages of the first quarter.
Yep, they had hand down in their territory, deep twice, and only gave up 1 touchdown. And as you say, they look like they were mixing it up pretty well with a couple of passes in the running attack.
Dennis Simmons into the game at right defensive tackle. Wing right, sprint right, going back to the left side, trying to set up a screen, and a pass intended for Louis Varvella.
That's thrown over the head of number 86, Tom Devitt, bringing up 4th and 17 for the Lancers.
Fourth down, 17. Thompson and Piggott drop back deep. Rich
Thompson and Piggott deep for hand. The punt is taken by Piggott.
Fields the ball inside
the 10.
His 10-yard line and spins up over the 15.
It's brought down
at about the
15, short
17-yard
of the
line.
20.
So 8 seconds to go, first quarter, and Hale will have the ball 1st and 10 from the 17-yard line.
First and 10, hand on its 17.
This, of course, the first
That is
game
the end of the first
the
period.
season.
The score, hand
Its next
7,
game will be
Notre
at home
Dame
next
nothing.
week against the Yellow Jackets of East Haven. Here we go, second quarter action. The Tigers in front, 7-0. 1st and 10. Thompson, I formation, and pitches to Piggott. Cuts back nicely, up to about the 20-yard line. Pick up a 3, bring up the 2nd down at 7.
Second and 7.
Scott Duncanson, a split right. Timmy Nye is the tight end to the left, in the slot to the left. Matt Sullivan, I formation. Thompson barks out the signals, gives the ball to Piggott. He fumbles the ball. Ball is loose. And it's recovered by the Lancers. Notre Dame of Fairfield with the break they've been looking for. Will start in hand territory inside of 20, 1st and 10 from the 19.
At the hand at 19.
Well, there's a break now for Notre Dame, as you said, Chris. And now they, this quarter, and they'll have the advantage of having that wind, probably about a 10-mile-an-hour wind at their back. And I still haven't seen Darren Johnson's not back in there yet.
Rich Karoljian has a little trouble with the
Number
handoff.
5, Mike McCarthy on the short handoff goes
Mike
nowhere.
McCarthy stopped at the line
Bob
of
Hughes, number
scrimmage.
68 on the tackle.
Call it a loss of 1, bring up 2nd and 11.
Loss of 2, back to the 21, to the 2nd and 12.
Rich Karoljian is the quarterback for the Lancers, 5'11", 175 pounds. Baron Johnson, Tony Reno, the tailbacks. And it's
James,
Gaines,
number 33,
the ball
ball
carrier.
carrier on right end.
And he runs right, picks up about 3.
Ball is marked at the 17 for a gain of 4 to the 3rd and 7.
Third and a short 7 for the Lancers. 10 minutes to go, second quarter action. And the Lancers looking to tie things up here. Opening game for both teams. Karoljian sprints out left, being pursued.
Looking for Gaines.
Incomplete at the 5-yard line.
Intended for number
Pass
33,
intended
Mark
for
Gaines.
Mark Gaines.
It'll bring up 4th and 8.
Bryson Leckie back there, defending on the play.
Karoljian's not having too much luck. Chris, thus far, he's only 1 for 5 for 10 yards. Passing department.
Big play coming up for the Lancers, 4th and 7. They need to get to about the 10-yard line, and there's movement on the
Flag stops
offensive
the
line.
play.
Well, once again, the Lancers have hurt themselves with a penalty here. So instead
False
of a
start
4th and
penalty
7,
against the offense. Notre Dame
be a
penalized
4th
5 yards
and
back to the
12.
22. It will remain 4th down.
It seems like, Chris, that just so far that their penalties are coming at very inopportune times when you have a 4th and 7. Now making it 4th and 12, and of course before they had that 15-yard holding penalty when they were starting to drive deep into the Tiger territory.
passing situation. But Karoljian decides to give the ball on a counter to Mark Gaines, and he stopped at the 20-yard line. So on downs, the
Stopped at
ball
the
will
20
turn
by
over.
number 66,
Tigers
Justin
gain
Murphy.
possession.
And as held,
1st and
will
10
take over
from
at
the
its own
20.
20.
Justin Murphy in on the hit for the Tigers. Timeout on
Notre
the
Dame
field.
takes timeout.
Charge to the Notre Dame Lancers. 1st and 10 for the Tigers. High formation. Thompson sprinting right. Decides to keep the ball. He's got running room down the right side.
Goes around right end and
But
it's
he's
brought down short of the
neck
25.
tackled nicely on the play by Frank Greenwood.
Frank Greenwood, number 35 on the
Thompson
stop for
appeared to
Notre Dame.
have plenty of running room, but a good defensive play by the Lancers.
I wasn't quite sure of that one. It appeared he was trying to set something up to Sullivan, who was breaking out on the right flat, and then decided to take off with it when may have been a broken play. I'm not quite sure, Chris.
Of course, if you remember, Thompson did a lot of running 2 years ago. Didn't run the ball much last year. Probably will see him run the ball quite a bit more this season than he did, of course, last season. Slant pattern denied, and it's overthrown, incomplete at the 40-yard line.
Number 9, will bring up 3rd down.
3rd and 9 for the Tigers. 8:53 to go first half. Tigers in front 7-zip. Scott Duncanson split left. 3rd and 9. Givens pick it over the right side. And he's taken down by Mark Gaines at the 25-yard line, so the Tigers will have to give it up. Thompson will be dropping back to punt the ball away. Mark Gaines for the Lancers, standing at the 40-yard line. Thompson kicking into the wind, and Gaines has moved back to the 35, showing the respect for the leg of David Thompson. Punt, pass, and kick champion in his younger days. And Thompson into the wind, boots a beauty. Beautiful hang time. And it carries Johnson all the way back to the 20-yard line. He may have touched the ball, but he falls on it at the 20. Johnson looked uncertain, or Gaines, pardon me, looked uncertain as to whether he actually touched the ball, whether he should fall on it or not. And of course,
yeah,
I think
he kind of nonchalanted that a little bit, it appeared to me, Chris. You know, if there's ever any doubt, I think he should run back and fall that quick. He may not have thought he touched it, but the official might have thought he did. In which case, if Hand could have pounced on it, they would have had it deep in the Lancers' end.
Thompson, who punted the ball from about his own 15-yard line, and send the Lancers back to about their 20. And on the first down play, Nyan on the tackle, pick up of a couple.
Number 30, Bill Lauman, the ball carrier.
That was Bill Lauman, the ball carrier.
Picks up 3 to the 24 to the second and 7.
5'4", 162-pound running back. Lauman is a junior for the Lancers. High formation now, a different look. And a flare pass goes out, and it's complete.
Out to the 35.
Tony Reno, it appeared to be on the catch.
Pass is complete to number 41,
yes,
Tony Reno.
Brings it out to about the 35-yard line. First down for the Lancers. 7:06 to go, first half action. The opener for the Tigers. Face East Haven home next week. And then we'll travel to take on a very tough Maloney team. Backfield once again. And the counter is to Gaines. Gaines carries the ball up close to the 38-yard line. Pickup of about 5.
Tim Nye makes the stop at the 38.
Second and 5.
Gain of 4, it'll be second and 6.
Tim Nye from his left defensive end position and on the tackle. Second and a long 5. Give is straight up the middle. Goes absolutely nowhere. Chris Bryce in on the hit, along with number 66, Justin Murphy, the co-captain.
Gain of 1, it'll be 3rd and 5 from the 39.
Bob Smith checking in with the play. The wide receiver, 3rd and 5. Could be a passing situation for the Lancers, but they decide to run right, and a lot of room for Gaines. He'll pick up the first down.
Tries to go around right,
and he'll be taken out of bounds. Dennis Simmons taking Gaines out of bounds, but enough for the first down. Referee spots the ball at the 46-yard line.
Marquez stays at second base, picks up the first down for Notre Dame. 46.
Bottom of the screen comes Bob Finley. Straight dive, give. McCarthy picks up 1.
McCarthy picks up 1 to the 47. It'll be second and 9.
Bill Leckie checks into the game. Ash Edwards out. Second and 9. Go to the right side once again with Gaines. Tripped up by Nye and Leckie. But he carries the ball inside Hand Tiger territory to about the 49-yard line.
That's a 3-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and 6.
3rd and 6 for the Lancers. They've had some trouble on 3rd downs with penalties and incomplete passes. Erosion looking over the sidelines for a play. Mark Gaines now trotting in. unsure of what to do, and the Lancers call their second timeout of the half. Change this year as far as timeouts go. Last season, teams were allowed 5 timeouts a half, and this year it's down to 3 timeouts a half. A couple other changes, Brian. Automatic first down for roughing the passer this year, and also you have an option on the coin toss. If you win, you can decide to take your option in the second half instead of the first. And the other change is only can clip at the line of scrimmage, just at the line of scrimmage, nowhere else. And those are a couple of the major rule changes this year. So the Lancers, they have taken 2 timeouts. They got 1 left, 4.5 to go in the first half.
By the way, the game is listed.
Big play for the Lancers. 3rd and 5, and the pitch is to Gaines. And he's got the first down, pulling his way through tacklers inside the 40. Sullivan and Thompson in on the stop.
Thompson on the stop. First down, Notre Dame.
They're really chewing them up on the ground, Chris. They've used up quite a bit of time here, and they've rushed the ball 12 times in the ball game. They've picked up 56 yards.
And Darren Johnson carrying the ball for the most part in the first quarter, and now it appears to be Mark Gaines, both very strong and very quick. And they seem to be working on the left side of the defensive line, running right with the ball on 3 out of every 4 plays. This time they counter to the left on a trap, and I believe there's a flag on the play.
Number 41, Tony Rhino.
Holding is the preliminary
Stopped by
call.
Ash Edwards, number 52.
So that'll back the Lancers up. Every time the Lancers appear to have something going, it appears to be a penalty.
Preliminary signal holding against the
And I'll
offense.
tell you, Chris, they've really held their own here against what appears to be a stronger hand team, seemingly able to move the ball, and hand team has not made many mistakes. But as you say, it's true. Every time they seem to get going, they just picked up a very big first down with time winding down here. You know, if they could get in and make it 7-7, it could be an interesting second half.
We should have quite a few interesting games this year. The Tigers obviously not as strong as they were last year, losing so many of their key players. And a gift over the right tackle.
Number 5,
Pick up of a couple by Mike McCarthy.
Stopped short of midfield.
Ball spotted at about the 49-yard line.
Pickup of 2 yards. It'll be 2nd and 22.
2nd down and 22. Tom Devitt to the bottom of the screen. And Karoljian is going to run the ball. Carries the ball down the sideline.
Quarterback Cooper.
Over the 40.
With
Although
Karoljian
say he
knocked
stepped
out
out
of
of
bounds.
bounds at about the 42-yard line.
Inside end territory at near the 42.
Once again, what appears to be a passing situation, but over the first quarter and a half, Karoljian has surprised and they've stuck on the ground.
3rd and
on
13.
3rd and long.
With the hand, 43.
See what they do here. Full house backfield. Karoljian on the slant, and the pass is caught short of the first
Notre
down.
Dame
Kyle
pass complete to
McLeod
number 30, Kyle
on
McLeod.
the reception, just
Brought
short.
down at the hand, the
of the first
31-yard
down.
line. That is short of a first down.
About 2 yards short, bring up a 4th and 2. And a type of situation where Notre Dame will obviously go for the ball, don't look to pick up much, punting the ball from the 32. 2:45 and counting first half action, and it's a bad snap. And the pitch goes out to Mark Gaines after Sullivan broke through the line and had a hand on Karoljian,
Matt Sullivan almost had a sack. The handoff
just short
successfully
of the
completed.
first down. It's Mark, so the
But the
ball
game
turn
was
over to the
not good enough
Tigers.
for a first down.
Nice
And
defensive
takes
play
over
by the
at
Tigers.
30-yard
And
line.
once again, they have stopped this Lancer team. So with 2:36 to go in the first half, the Tigers driving into the wind. They'll start at their 31-yard line. Lecky and Sullivan to the bottom of the screen. Flair pass goes. Ball 2. Nye from tight end.
Flag down,
He
Chris.
rumbles down the sideline. He'll go all the way, but there's a flag on the play. We may have a clip
There's a flag on the play, but denied.
back at the 37-yard line.
It's like a clip.
Nye rambles 69 yards, but it appears it may come back.
You talk about your costly penalties, Chris. There's another fact. It seems like every penalty so far in this game has turned it around for each team. 3 times for Notre Dame, and now a really big penalty against Han.
Very true, Brian. Although it is the first game of this season, and there will be a lot of things that will have to be worked out as the season progresses. I'm sure Coach Ciotti would have preferred they worked out most of these things as far as hand goes in the preseason. But they are young men and capable of making mistakes.
Nonetheless, it was a beautiful pass play, but it's coming back to the 15.
Ball be spotted at the 15-yard line. Han needs to cross the 40 for a first down, a little better than 25 yards, as the marker is about 40 and a half, spotted at about the 40 and a half. So it'll be a first down, over 25. 2:05 to go, and I'm sure Coach Ciotti would feel a lot better if they could put another 7 on the board before halftime. First time Notre Dame and Fairfield has ever played the Han Tigers, and they have a nice crowd for this game. Quite a few people came down from Fairfield. They ran a long drive, and it's nice to see it.
Yeah.
Flag on the play. And taking too much time. So they'll go back another 5.
At the rate they're going right now, Chris, possibly Coach Ciotti would maybe just be glad to get out of this right here, up 7-0, and regroup.
Well, that's
But then with the arm of
curious
Thompson,
here.
you never know.
It's curious here. Will they keep the ball on the ground with 2 minutes to go? Be satisfied with 7-0? I don't believe so, because Thompson looks for Lecky down the sidelines. Lecky, very good speed, stays on his feet, crosses the 30-yard line, knocked out of bounds.
Beautiful balance,
Just
Chris.
short of the 30, they'll call it. He stepped out of bounds at about the 28. Phil Lecky coming over from Morgan High School in Clinton along with his brother. A nice addition to the Han Tiger team. Lecky, I believe, second fastest person in the shoreline in the 100-meter last year. Jim Bell, of course, being the fastest. Thompson once again pumps the Lecky in the down. It's Nye. Nye was split left on that play from his usual tight position. Ball fell dead at about the 45-yard line. For a split second, Nye appeared open. The ball was just a bit overthrown. Under 2 to go. Minute 52.
The last pass completion was complete to number 7, Bill Lecky. He is not on your program.
And Thompson will drop back to pass. 4th and 11. Mark Gaines, the workhorse on the ground for the Lancers in the second
Dave
quarter.
Thompson, the punt.
Big rush. Thompson gets it off. Hang time. Fielded by
Punt taken
Gaines
by
at the 44.
Gaines at the 43-yard
And he's hit
line.
hard.
He stopped short of the 50.
And he's taken down. In on the tackle.
Pete Metz on the stop for
Pete
Han.
Metz.
Notre Dame, first
Ash
down
Edwards
at
also
47.
in helping out. Minute 42. Lancers haven't put the ball up in the air much. I would think they might want to do that here with a minute 40 now and counting.
They actually on the last drive were moving the ball pretty well, mostly on the ground, and they threw a couple of pass plays in, able to move upfield, but then again the crucial penalty hurt them and they weren't able to convert.
And curiously right now the clock is ticking and there is not a huddle on the team from
Looks like
Notre Dame.
they are content to go in down 7-0, Chris, and want the as much time to tick off as possible.
Very, very surprising. The ball just short of the 50-yard line. Better than a minute to go. 7-0 is the score.
Wind at their back.
Wind at their back, as you said. Can't understand that. May, of course, been some mix-up between the quarterback and the coaching staff for Notre Dame. And right now, there's a change of quarterbacks. Mark Sedensky, 5'10", 155-pound sophomore.
They're way off.
Flag stops the play.
The Notre Dame linemen jumped, about 2 or 3 of them jumped way ahead that time.
False start against the offense.
So Notre Dame, with better than a minute to go, had the ball up close to the 48-yard line. And now they're all the way back to the 38. It'll be a first down and 20.
First and 20 Lancers from their own 38.
Karolzhin is now back in the game. And he keeps the ball straight up the middle on a quarterback sneak.
Quarterback keeper, stop the 40, across the 45 to the 46-yard line.
Gets the ball up to about the 46-yard line.
Ash Edwards on the
Clock
tackle
is
for
ticking.
hand.
Notre Dame does not appear to
Gain
be
of 8, it'll be
in
second
any
and
rush
12.
to get these plays off. .48 seconds to go. Gains lots of room over the right side, cuts back inside, over the 45, down to the 43-yard line.
Territory inside the 45. That's close to the first down marker. Kevin Pickett on the tackle for
We have
hand.
measurements.
We will have a measurement.
Pretty good effort, actually, by the Notre Dame running attack. Chris, unofficially, I got him at 14 attempts and 72 yards, so not a bad job.
Better than 5 yards a carry. Larry Sciatti can't be too happy with that. But it's the scoreboard that counts, and the Tigers are in front 7-0.
It's awful close to that first
Appears to
down.
be a first down from our vantage point. Yes, it is.
First down, Notre Dame.
First and 10 from the Tiger 43. Lancers looking to even things up before they head into the dressing room.
You'd think they'd really have nothing to lose here, Chris, with a couple of long pass plays.
Slant
Pass is
pass
incomplete.
is intended for
There's a
number
flag
30,
on the
Kyle
play.
McLeod, but there was some interference on the play. Timmy Wojnowski, I believe, appeared to bump the intended receiver.
Pass interference against the defense.
That'll cost the Tigers dearly as the ball moves closer to the goal line for the Lancers.
Who right now might be wishing that they hadn't let that 30 seconds run off before or so, and backed them up another 5, trying to, would appear to be trying to let the clock run down and just go in down 7-0 at half.
And also the illegal procedure. They took 10 yards of penalties with better than a minute to go. So the ball's resting now at the 28. They could very well be on the 18-yard line with 21 seconds.
You'd have to think here that they have time for 2, maybe even 3 plays.
They do have one timeout left.
28.
And it's a
Pass is
slant pattern
incomplete,
intended
but just 2
for
flags on
Tom
the play.
Devitt, and 2 flags go down
Like
the
an
line.
illegal motion by quarterback Karolzhin.
Illegal motion. And Lancers will back it up 5.
And it appears that this last minute and a half appears to be taking an eternity here, and
First and 15.
with the team kind of moving back and forth. I don't know, I'd have to say if I was the coach right now, maybe with 17 seconds, I'd just drop back and let it fly. What do you think?
Look for a pass to the sideline, try to stop the clock, and take advantage of the fact they still have one
Marquez
timeout left.
carries.
They keep the ball on the ground. Gains the
Goodman
ball
makes the
carrier.
tackle short of the 30.
Ball's marked at about the 33. And with 4 seconds now, The Lancers call timeout.
Notre Dame takes its final timeout.
That's early in the season. Perhaps the Lancers have not worked on a 2-minute drill. 4 seconds to go. And he airs it out long. It will be
near the end zone. It is
intercepted.
Either knocked out or intercepted.
Pickett on the interception. That'll do it. That's the half.
Time has run out in the half.
Opening game of the '84 season. It's halftime, and the Tigers lead it 7-0 over Notre Dame of
We
Fairfield.
think the call is in it.
Just about set for the second half of football between the Hand Tigers and the Lancers of Notre Dame of Fairfield. Chris Wallach and Brian May, captains, are at midfield. And some interesting first half stats, Brian.
Yeah, it sure is. Let's take a look at what Hand did. First, they had 3 first downs, and they rushed the ball 9 times for 37 yards. Pickett had 8 of those rushes for 36 yards, so he was the main man on the ground attack. Thompson was 4 for 9 in the passing department with 80 yards, and of course he had a big strike to Tom Leckie that that almost set up a score, 53-yard reception. Leckie had 2 passes for 74. Nye had 2 for 6 yards, and what's this here? Okay.
Yeah, they had
For total,
117
total yards.
in the
Okay.
first quarter.
Okay, and of course, 2-yard touchdown pass from Thompson to Nye at 8:32 of the first quarter, and Simmons had the extra point to give Hand the 7-0 lead. Taking a look at the Lancer stats real quickly, they had 8 first downs and pretty good ground attack, 25 rushes for 90 yards. Carlegian, the quarterback, was 3 for 8 passing, 38 yards. And going back to the ground attack, Gaines was the main man after Johnson left the game. Gaines 11 attempts, 52 yards. Johnson had 7 attempts for 16 before he was knocked out. We're not quite sure if Johnson will be back or not. We don't know the extent of his injury, and we'll just have to wait and see if he gets back on the field.
Well, we're all set for action here. Tigers will field the ball, and Pickett off of Carroll takes the ball up to a 40-yard line, so the Tigers will start off in good shape, 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line. The stats pretty close to even, 117 total yards then overall for the Tigers, and of course the Lancers at 128 yards, but 90 of those were on the ground.
Yep. It actually seemed, we don't have an official time of ball possession, but it appeared that the Lancers actually held the ball longer than Hand did in that first half, Chris.
Yes, they definitely did. I formation. Thompson gave us the Pickett over the right side. He's tripped up behind the line of scrimmage, stumbles forward to about the line of scrimmage, and it'll be 2nd and 10 for the Tigers.
Up by number 40 to Alamas.
Offensively, the Tigers will start the same. The center is Siani. Edwards and Hughes are the guards. Murphy and Magui the tackles. Timmy Nye is the tight end. In the slot will be Matt Sullivan. The split end will be Scott Duncanson. The QB, of course, is Thompson. Chris Bryce is the fullback. And Kevin Pickett is the tailback. 2nd and 10. And once again, the pass goes out to Nye in the flat, but it's incomplete at about the 43-yard line, bringing up 3rd and 10 for the Tigers.
3rd and 9.
Bill Leckie into the ball game to the bottom of your screen. Sullivan is to the left. Thompson being pursued. He's in trouble back in his own 20. Throws the ball upfield. It's picked off. Intercepted by number 41. That's Tony Rhino. Tony Rhino on an ill-advised pass from Thompson. Rolling out and falling back behind his own 20. He attempted to throw the ball upfield, and it was picked off by Rhino, and they're going to mark it at about the 43-yard line where he stepped out of bounds. So the Lancers with an important break here earlier in the 3rd quarter. Let's see what they can do with it.
I'm sure Thompson would like to have that ball back, Chris, and I'm sure Coach Seattle, he's not too pleased about that one.
Full house backfield, goes on a quick count. Pitches to Gaines, he's got running room. And he's hit hard. Down shy of the 35-yard line. Kevin Piggott on the hit. Call it the 37-yard line.
Gain of 6, it'll be second and 4.
Second down and 4 after the gain of 6. Gaines, the workhorse, ever since Johnson was injured. Rhino, McCarthy, and Gaines.
Number 5, Mike
is
McCarthy.
to Mike McCarthy. Gets up over the 35, about the 34-yard line. Pick him up a couple. And the Lancers start the second half without the services of Darren Johnson.
To the 34, it'll be 3rd and 2.
Darren Johnson, obviously a vital part of the Lancer tackle in both ways for Notre Dame of Fairfield. Third down, call it 2. Quarterback keeper from Karolyshian. He takes the ball up over the 30, just inside the 30 for first down. So the Lancers continue to keep the ball on the ground and are still working on the left side of that defensive line for the Tigers. And that's Justin Murphy and Nye over on the left side. Of course, as you'll find, very often teams are right-handed. And that may be more of the case than the fact that it's they found a weakness in the hand defensive line. It may be just the fact that Notre Dame of Fairfield is pretty much a predominantly right-handed team and like to run most of their plays to the right. Gain of 8 on that last play brings up a 2nd and 2. And there's a timeout. Charge to the Tigers, so they're first time out of the second half, and they'll have 2 left.
Second and 2, Lancers from the hand.
Second and 2 for the Lancers from the 22. Simmons now the nose guard, and the pass goes into the right corner, and it's complete.
That's complete to number 30, Kyle
That's
McLeod.
number 30, Kyle McLeod, 5'9", 150-pound wide receiver. McLeod also had a reception for 12 yards in the first half, so his second catch of the ball game. And good for the first down. First and goal from the 7, and the Lancers looking to capitalize here early in the third quarter. The wind at their back.
Let's see what they can do, Chris. This is where they've had their trouble when they get down deep.
And slipping through the line and almost making the play, Sullivan. Gaines managed to get outside and still pick up a couple. Strong leg drive from Mark Gaines, the co-captain, and the workhorse of the Lancers backfield. Chris Hevesy just in a ball game for that pass play. Timmy Knight now resumes his left defensive end position. One major change. Simmons is the nose guard. Goal line defense. And quarterback keeper. And he's stacked up pretty close to the line of scrimmage. He'll give him 1, making it 3rd and about 3 yards to go. Less than halfway through the third quarter, and the Lancers knocking at the door.
Most important play for the Lancers right now of the game, Chris.
And a pitch to the right side of Gaines. And he's tripped up. And he is short of a touchdown. Tripped up in the backfield by Matt Morgan. And Gaines stumbled forward to about the 2-yard line. It'll be 4th and 2 for the Lancers, and they will call a timeout and talk about it.
4th and 1, Notre Dame takes timeout.
Is for defense. 4th and 2. And Gaines taken down the backfield by Matt Sullivan. A beautiful defensive play. And the Tigers will take over.
Matt Sullivan on the stop and takes over.
Little too predictable for Notre Dame of Fairfield on that play. Sullivan reading it nicely. Gaines been going over the right side every time.
They were
Sure
ready
enough,
for
Sullivan was ready for it and made the outstanding defensive play.
A loss of 5 yards on the play. Hand takes over. 1st and 10 on its own 6.
6-yard line, the ball is spotted. I formation. Thompson, the quarterback. Bryce and Piggott. And
Thompson on
pile
the
up at about 7. Thompson picked up 1. 2nd and 9 for the Tigers. Thompson keeping the ball, trying to give the Tigers a little bit of breathing room. Thompson to Piggott. A lot of running room. Piggott up to the 20-yard line for a 1st down. And the Tigers have some breathing room.
Rich Peruvian on the stop for the Lancers. 1st down Tigers at their own 20.
Sullivan and Leckie come down right. 9 is tight. High formation. Play action pass. Thompson looking for 9. And it's tipped away beautifully by Tom Devitt. Tom Devitt broke that one up nice at about the 43-yard line. Pass intended for Timmy 9.
Number 86, Tom Devitt on the defensive coverage for the Lancers. 2nd and 10, man from his own 20.
It's obvious, Chris, that big defensive stand has spurred on the hand offense. They appear to be, they're running up to that line of scrimmage. They appear that they want to get something going here and add to their 7-0 lead.
Thompson and Piggott over the right side. Up over the 25.
About the 26.
Ball the 26-yard line.
Bill Norman.
It'll be 3rd down and a long 4.
Gain of 5, it'll be 3rd and 5.
Tigers would like to capitalize with the 1st down here and keep the drive going after that great defensive stand down at the goal line moments earlier. Thompson with the pitch to Piggott, right, cuts back nicely. Up over the
Beautiful run, Chris, beautiful run.
36. Kevin Piggott with some fancy footwork. Down at the 36-yard line, and 1st down.
It'll be 1st down, and hand from its own 36.
Leckie and Duncanson shuttling in and out with the plays for the Tigers. Coach Ciotti calling most of the plays from the sideline for the Tigers. 1st and 10. Once again, it's Piggott over the right side behind the blocking. Right side of that offensive line.
Top man number 40, Bill Lowman, after a gain of 5.
Bill Lowman on the tackle. How to use it, Justin Murphy clearing the way, along with Matt Sullivan and Timmy 9 doing a nice job blocking on that right side of the line. High formation, play action, Thompson is knocked inside the 35, and the ball is intercepted.
At its own 43.
So Notre Dame on the turnover. Once again, in on the play, Tom Devitt, 6 foot, 170-pound senior, with the interception. It appeared to me that the ball may have touched the ground, but the referee says no, so the Lancers take over. 4:10 to go, 3rd quarter action. 1st and 10 from their 43-yard line. And Hand not in that comfortable position.
No.
7-0.
Nope, still up for grabs, Chris.
Notre Dame, 1st and 10 from its own
Notre
33.
Dame rolling right as Grosjean. He's got Rhino, a lot of running room, up over the 40. Taken down hard by Kevin Piggott. So the Lancers put the ball in the air and move it into Hand territory, 38-yard line, 1st and 10. Type of play I was looking for late in the 1st half from Grosjean.
Exactly. It seems like, we're kind of going back and forth now. The Lancers have really have played well and have good ball control. They just have not been able to put it in the end zone.
And Koroljian
Pass is
loosens up his arm
out
with
of
a,
bounds. It'll be 2nd and 10.
throws the ball out of bounds.
Looks like that was intended for somebody in the 3rd row.
3rd, 4th, or 5th. That thing was really aired out. They'll have to retrieve that from the ocean here. Not quite sure what he was doing. I think he was looking for a hitch pass, and the defensive back was up pretty close. He threw it out of bounds. Certainly wasn't looking to stop the clock. 3:34, 3rd quarter. Pitch is to
Pitch for 33.
Mark Gaines, and he's ridden out of bounds by Timmy Nye at about the 40-yard line.
I think, Chris, that that the Lancers offense are going to have to adjust now. That I think Hand is finally picking up on that. You were saying that they're testing the left side of the defensive line, and I think the Tigers are well aware of that now, and they seem to be containing gains to that side. So the Lancers are going to have to come up with something else, especially now on 3rd down.
They may be setting the Tigers up for a possible reverse. Come back to the left side with it. Looking long, it's almost intercepted by Piggott. Pass was intended for Kyle McLeod, already caught a couple today. Brings up a 4th down situation for the Lancers and a punting situation. Rich Koroljian in to do the kicking. Darren Johnson was hurt in the 1st half, was the punter. But Koroljian gets off a fair boot, and it's fielded at about the 18. It's Bob Duncanson's got some room. He's up over the 25, up over the 30, down to about the 32-yard line. Bob Duncanson with a 50-bit of footwork. Takes the ball from the left side of the field all the way across the right, up over the 30. And they'll call it the 33. 1st and 10, Tigers from the 33. And this quarter moving quickly. About 2.5 to go. 3rd quarter action. The Tigers still in front, 7-0. Scott Duncanson, wide left. Thompson yet to look for Duncanson, a sure-handed receiver. Pickett gets the call, takes the ball to about the 40-yard line. And the Tigers liking to run the ball to the right side, too. Spotted at about the 39. Ball in a pickup of 6. 2nd and 4. Coach Ciotti said they'd aired out a bit more this year, about 20 passes or so a game, and it was just about on target. 2nd and 4. Maybe a passing situation here for Thompson. But he decides to give it up. Straight up the middle. Piggott, ball carrier. Picks up a couple, bring up 3rd and about 2.
Bill Roberts, number 40. Rick Montalvo, number 32. Combined on the stop for Notre Dame. Pickup of 2, it'll be 3rd and 2.
Nye and Sullivan come to the right side. Duncanson split left. Rice and Piggott is the ball carrier. Piggott rambles up over the 50, 45, 40, 35, and dragged down to the 34-yard line. In on the tackle, Jeff Koroljian for the Lancers.
Jeff Koroljian and Kyle McLeod on the stop for Notre Dame. 1st down, Hand on the Lancers 34.
Jeff Koroljian, the brother, I guess, of the quarterback Rich. Rich being the senior. And of course, Jeff, he is a sophomore. Minute 30 and counting. Hand has the ball inside the 35-yard line of Lancers. Piggott running room once again. Up to about the 30-yard line. Taken out of bounds by Bill
Loman. Gain of 4 to the 30. It'll be 2nd and 6.
2nd and 6, ball resting just inside the
Unofficially,
30-yard
we
line.
have Kevin Piggott now at 17 carries, 103 yards.
Piggott has now unofficially gone over the 100-yard rushing for the game. 17 carries, 103 yards. Thompson sprints right, no intention of doing anything but running, and he takes the ball inside the 25.
Heads up play by Thompson there. Chris has been going to Piggott quite often and figured to keep the Lancers defense honest there, switch them up a little bit. But you can't say enough about Piggott, and it looks like the Tigers has shown that he will be a valuable weapon this year in the hand offense.
Of course, Piggott had a fair amount of work last year with the Tigers jumping in front in the first half of so many games. Piggott saw most of the action in the second half, actually rushed for over 500 yards. So he's confident coming into this season. He had a lot of playing time last year. A charge to Notre Dame of Fairfield. That's their second of the half. They've got one left. 1st and 10, Tigers. 23-yard line. Thompson sprinting right. Will carry the ball behind him. Blocking up Rice and Piggott.
A lot of room,
and
Chris.
Thompson down to 10. Inside the 5. He'll take it in. All the way in for the touchdown. David Thompson. Nifty bit of running. 23-yard touchdown. He's got the Tigers another 6 and a 13-0 lead. Dennis Simmons trots on the field looking to make it 14-0 Tigers late in the third quarter here on this Friday evening opener of the '84 season. It's the Tigers and the Lancers of Notre Dame of Fairfield.
Dennis Simmons, number 30, on to try the extra point.
Sullivan will put it down. He does nicely, and Simmons with the boot. It's good.
Making the score.
The Tigers, a little bit of breathing room. Now lead 14-0 over the Lancers of Notre Dame of Fairfield. 14-0 Tigers. Thompson set to kick off. 1 minute and 6 seconds left to go. Third quarter action. Dropping deep for the Lancers. Number 33, Mark Gaines, and number 43, Jeff Karoljian. It's fielded by Gaines at his own 20-yard line, up over the 25. Missed tackle by Bill Lucky. Cuts to the outside. Gaines down over the 35 to the 40. And Thompson in on the tackle at the 42-yard line. So some nice field position for the Lancers. Still looking to get on the board. They got 1st and 10 at their own 42-yard line.
Yeah, nice run back by Gaines. He's showing me a lot tonight, Chris. He's a tough cookie out there. He quite a competitor and running very hard. And of course, with Darren Johnson going out early, he's had to pretty much assume most of the responsibilities for the ground attack.
1st and 10, sprinting right is Karoljian, and a pass intended for Rhino. Falls incomplete at the 45-yard line. One defensive change of note. Bob Duncanson is now in the ball game at safety. And there is a Tiger down. Injured player for the Tigers was Rob Pegnataro. He appears to be all right. Ran off the field under his own power.
2nd and 10, Notre Dame, from its own 43.
Physician for the hand team, Dr. Sclair. Taking a quick look at him, make sure everything's okay. 41 seconds to go, third quarter. The Tigers on a 23-yard touchdown run and put another 7 on. It's 14-0. Lancers 2nd and 10 for them. And to give us the Gaines. And he spins, rambles up over the 45 to about the 46.
Tim Wojnowski, number 91 on the stop for
Timmy
hand.
Wojnowski, number 91, in on the tackle. Timmy Wojnowski played
Pick up a 3,
JV
it'll be
baseball this
3rd
year
and
for
7.
me. Did a fine job, left fielder, quite a few clutch hits. And a fearless player, quite a hitter, as Coach Ciotti has said. One of the best hitters on the defense. It's Timmy Wojnowski, number 91. Quick slant pattern is almost intercepted by Thompson.
Number 86, Tom Devitt.
Tom
He
Devitt.
stopped inside hand
And on
territory
the completion,
at the 41.
Timmy 9 made the tackle at about the 41-yard line. Thompson barely missed, picking it off and going all the way.
That is the end of the third period.
That'll
With
do
the
it.
score,
End
hand
of the third
14,
quarter.
Notre Dame
And Tigers
nothing.
14, and the Notre Dame of Fairfield Lancers, no score. Just about set for fourth quarter action. The Tigers in front 14-0. The Tigers have won 21 regular season games in a row. Their last loss being in that Class AA state championship game against East Catholic last year, and they're looking to revenge
James, the ball carrier, stops near
that
the
loss
40.
tonight. Gaines, the ball carrier, and he was hit hard at
Chris
about the
Hevesy and
40-yard
Dave
line.
Thompson on the stop
Pickup
for
of
him.
1 second and 9.
Ball is marked on the 40. A gain
So I
of
was saying
1.
before,
It'll be
Chris, I
second and
have
9.
to question the Lancers continually going to Gaines on that test that left side. Tigers were having some trouble with it a little earlier, but apparently have seemed to control them as they stopped them that time for only a yard.
Chris Hevesy in the ball game at defensive end for Timmy Nye. This time, Karolajin will roll left, and he gets the ball out, and it's incomplete at the 36-yard line.
Pass was intended
Pass
for
was
number
intended
33,
for Mark Gaines, the co-captain. Head coach of the Notre Dame of Fairfield Lancers, John Svatic. And assistants, Mike Plum, Kevin Callahan, Rich Holmes, and Mike Guzzio. Of course, for the Hand Tigers in his 15th year, Larry Ciani, the head coach. Assistants, Steve Sakula, Steve Filippone, Tony Giannetti, and Chris Hughes in addition. And of course, the athletic director of the Hand Tigers and an integral part of the football and sports systems throughout the years, athletic director Bob Duncanson. 3rd and 9. Karolajin over the middle, intended for Devin.
Incomplete.
Brings up a 4th down situation for the Lancers.
Pass intended for Tom Devitt, number 86. It'll bring up 4th and 9.
And 9, high snap, but the punt gets off cleanly. Sullivan will field it inside his own 10.
Inside the 10.
Runs right with the ball, up over the 20-yard line to about the 21.
But he's not out of bounds near the 20.
The Tigers will start 1st and 10 from their own 21-yard line. 11 minutes and a second to go in the opener of the 84 football season.
10 on its own 21.
Tigers with a sort of unusual schedule this year, playing quite a few teams they haven't played before, like this Notre Dame of Fairfield team. And they will also play Bunnell. And also they'll play Middletown. They haven't played them. And a new addition last year was Foreign. They will play them again this year. And Maloney, of course, 2 weeks from tonight. A tough Maloney team. So the Tigers' schedule looking a little bit different. East Haven, Maloney, Bunnell, North Branford, Middletown, Morgan, Foran, Xavier, and on Thanksgiving Day they'll finish up at home here at the Surf Club against Guilford. 2nd and 8 for the Tigers. High formation. Higgin over the left side, he's got running room, up over the 35, spins, stays on his feet, and he'll spot the ball just at about the 40-yard line. Another first down for the Tigers.
Number 86 on the stop.
Phil Loman and on the stop for the Lancers. Kevin Biggett having a big night on the board for the Tigers, following in the footsteps of Jim Bell, who averaged about 10 yards a carry and had that consecutive streak of 100-yard games last year. Biggett getting on the right track tonight, well over 100 now, and he once again gets the carry.
Biggett again, the ball carrier.
Over the left side, tripped up after picking up about 3 yards. 2nd and 7 for the Tigers. Chris Bryce, the fullback, Brian. I don't believe Bryce. Has Bryce carried the ball this evening?
Oh, I think maybe 1 or 2 times early in the game, Chris, but that's been mostly Biggett all the way, and of course Thompson has taken it a few times, and of course on the last series they scored from 23 yards out.
Of course, you got to give credit where credit due. Chris Bryce doing a nice job blocking and freeing Pickett for many of these runs. Flag down on the play. And took too much time. They had a 2nd and 7. Now it'll be a 2nd and 12. But the ball backs up to about the 38-yard line. Twins right, Leckie and Sullivan. Nye is tight left. Thompson straight back, looks for the hook to Bill Leckie, and falls incomplete just across midfield. Bill Leckie, of course, an integral part of the Morgan Husky offense and defense last year, along with Pat Hedge and Ted LeMay. So that should hurt them. Both Bill and his brother coming to the Tigers, and 10 players academically ineligible to play football this year at Morgan. Pickett, the ball carrier, down the left sideline, over the 50, down to the 40-yard line. So the Tigers ball in Notre Dame territory, and have the ball first and 10 at the 40.
I'll tell you, Chris, if this is what Hand fans have to look forward to with Kevin Pickett running this year, they're going to be in for quite an entertaining season. He's just dominated that line of scrimmage and has broken free for so many beautiful runs tonight.
And he's a pleasure to watch. Leckie to the bottom of the screen, and Sullivan in a slot, now splits out about 6 yards off Timmy Nye, the tight end. A quick slant pass to Leckie. Leckie caught it, lost it, regained it. A little nice piece of juggling by Leckie, who may have sprained an ankle on the play. Shots off the field. He had it, lost it, looked like it was intercepted for a moment, and then got it back. That's where the looking the ball into your hands drill comes in handy.
Well, when things are going right, I guess they're going right.
I think Coach Ciotti have to be quite a bit happier about the way things are going here in the second half than they did in the first. Thompson looking long for Nye. In and out of Timmy's hands. On the goal line. Nye had a hand on it, but just couldn't quite hold it. Second down and 10, fourth quarter, 8:26 to go. And Notre Dame with Fairfield running out of time as long as the Tigers can eat time off the clock.
Second and 10, Hand for the 25.
Pass is dropped by Scott Duncanson. I believe his first pass of the night. Had it and lost it just inside the 20-yard line. And 3 consecutive passes. They must feel pretty confident that this game is in hand, although they're only leading 14-0 because they're not trying to ball control it and run the clock down. 3rd and 10 now, Thompson, high formation, quick drop, looking for Nye. On the quick slants, 4 passes in a row now for the Tigers. That'll bring up 4th and 10. And the ball on the 25-yard line, and doesn't figure to pick up much by punting the ball, so it looks like they'll go for it at 4th and 10. Thompson, unsure of the call, has called a timeout. So the Tigers take timeout, 8:18 to go, fourth quarter, and they've got the lead, 14-0 over Notre Dame of Fairfield. 4th down and 10 for the Tigers. Duncanson and Sullivan to the bottom of your screen. Nye is tight right. Thompson rolls left. Escapes the clutches. Gaines and Thompson will ramble in for the touchdown. David Thompson runs the ball in 25 yards on a 4th and 10 for the touchdown. No flags are down, and the Tigers have a 20-0 lead. David Thompson, every time he's carried the ball this evening, just run wild.
Well, I'll tell you, it just goes to show, too, that everyone knows that Thompson can put it up with the best of them and has a great arm, but to have the double capacity to run the ball in. Now he's had 2 touchdowns on the ground tonight. Just can't say enough about him, Chris.
Simmons to make it 21-zip. And Sullivan puts it down nicely, and it's good. So the Tigers build the lead to 21-0. 8:09 to go. And Notre Dame and Fairfield will have to get something going quickly. Thompson sent to boot. Mark Gaines will take it on his own 10.
Gaines
Up
takes
over
the
the
ball at the
15 and the
12
20.
and brings it out near the 30.
He's
with
taken
Simon
down
Scott.
a slew of hand
Bill Leckie,
tigers.
first in on the stop for hand.
Peter Metzen on the
Notre Dame,
stop,
first and 10
along
from
with
its own
Leckie
29.
and John Wiesbrock, number 22, in on some special teams work. Ball spotted at about the 29-yard line, first and 10, and the Lancers got to get moving. They need at least 3 possessions in order to tie or take the lead in this game, and there's under 8 minutes to go, so they will have to move the ball up and down quite quickly.
Seems like they've been able to move the ball quite a few times tonight, Chris, but of course the major thing is getting it over that goal line, and they've yet to do that.
One back. Passing situation.
Pass
Pass
is
intended
incomplete.
for Rhino. And he had
Ash
not yet
Edwards
turned around.
breaks it up, bringing up
Edwards
second
got
and
a hand
10
on
for
it.
the Lancers.
Second and 10 for the Lancers. Clock stops, 7:37 left to go.
Correction, Matt Morgan, number 56, on the coverage.
Chris Hevesy in on defense. And Bob Duncanson back at safety. The only 2 changes on the hand defense.
Rolling
Erosion
pass is complete to number
has
33.
a completion of Mark Gaines. And he looks for the first down. I believe he'll be short.
Ash Edwards and Rob
Gotta give
Edwards
Gaines-
combined from the stop to the
Excuse me,
39.
Chris. You got to give Gaines credit. He's really fighting for that first down yards. His team's down by 3 touchdowns with just about 7.5 to go, but he's not giving up. And pretty game effort tonight from this Notre Dame Fairfield team. You know, it's not easy for a team coming in to play here at Strongfield, and for the first time, I think they're putting up a fairly good effort, and as I say, they've had good ball control throughout the evening, just unable to put it over the goal line when it came down to it.
Coach Ciotti starting to shuffle a few people into the defensive area. Now into the game, a transfer from Valley Regional, Gary Beeson, who will be a great addition to both the basketball and baseball program as well as the football program. Gary's father, of course, the basketball coach at Valley Regional for many years, just left that position to take an assistant coaching job at the Coast Guard Academy. So Gary Beeson in the ball game. Karoljian looks for Devitt. Has him
Pass complete to number 86.
up
Tom
around
Devitt.
midfield. Maybe enough for a first down.
Stop near midfield by Ash Edwards, number 52.
Tom Devitt, a nice target.
Changes out near the 49. Again, close to a first down. It is a first down,
he's a
Notre
senior.
Dame.
Skilled positions for the Lancer team predominantly are all seniors. Gaines and Karoljian. And of course Devitt. And a give straight up the middle for a pickup of about
Mark
3
Gaines,
yards.
the ball carrier.
Who else but Mark Gaines? No word on the injury sustained at Darren Johnson, who carried the ball 7 times for 16 yards and played some nice defense in the first half. Darren is only a junior. And the offensive line all moved before the
Stops
ball.
the play.
Procedure call will go against Notre Dame at Fairfield. And they'll lose 5, so instead of being 2nd down and 6, it will be 2nd down and 11. 6:47 to go, 21-0. The Tigers have the lead.
Five-yard penalty against the offense. It'll be 2nd and 11 from the Notre Dame 48.
2nd and 11, 48 once again.
Another flag.
Tom Devitt jumps off sides. 5 more tacked on. 2nd and 16. Type of things that will make a coach pull his hair out.
That's quite right, and Notre Dame has had their troubles tonight with the penalties. Earlier on, as you remember, a 15-yard holding penalty, and then a couple of
Another 5-yard penalty.
illegal procedure, 5-yarders, when they appeared to be heading near the hand goal line. So they've kind of they've hurt themselves tonight with the miscues.
It's a fumble on the play. Chris Hevesy recovers the ball. The backup QB, Chris Hevesy, recovers the ball on a heads-up play at the 38-yard line. The Tigers take over, 1st and 10, 6:12 to go, and perhaps they'll be looking to take some time off the clock, although this one appears now to be comfortably at hand. Final score, should it stay the same, or should the Tigers tack one on? Shouldn't hurt themselves any in the preseason poll. They came in ranked 4th behind Ansoni, Greenwich, and St. Joseph's. They would appear to stay in there. Thompson airing it out, looking for Leckie. Leckie has the ball, touchdown! Leckie had to switch sides and looked over his right shoulder, had to turn to the left. Beautiful reception from Bill Leckie. Leckie turning the speed on to beat his man. A 37-yard pass completion from David Thompson to Bill Leckie. And I can't say enough about the addition of Bill Leckie and the loss to the Morgan team.
Beautiful over the shoulder. He faked out the Notre Dame defender and was wide open in the end zone. And a beautiful on the target, right on the money toss from Thompson. And without question, if it wasn't in question already, it's you can put this one in the bank, Chris.
Dennis Simmons, number 30,
Dennis
on the target
Simmons
conversion.
looking to make it 4 for 4 in conversions. And the kick is up. And it's good. So Simmons has put the 28 point on the board, and with 5:47 to go on a windy evening here at the Surf Club, the Hand Tigers are leading Notre Dame of Fairfield by a score of 28-0. Notre Dame has called timeout with 3. Here we go, 4th and inches. Bryce at fullback. Metz is a tailback. Hevesy the quarterback, and the give is to Metz. And no signal yet. Notre Dame of Fairfield has stopped the Tigers just short of the goal line, so the ball will turn over. 2:53 to go. 28-0 the Tigers.
Well, I think on that last stand there, Notre Dame just playing for pride on that one, Chris, just showing that they didn't want Hand to run up another one on them. And I guess that's why they took the timeout, was to regroup for that and try to keep them from tacking on another 7.
And of course, Larry Ciani putting in many of the second teamers on offense. Didn't feel he had to put the ball in. First down, just inches from the goal line. Pickup of about a yard, and there's a player down for Notre Dame of Fairfield.
Pickup of 1 on the play by Gaines. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Rich Karolian, the quarterback, injured on the previous play, was helped off. In to do the QB, and now Mark Sedensky.
Mark Sedensky, number 16.
5'10", 155-pound junior. And Sedensky.
Back to pass.
Back to pass.
Pass is incomplete. Intended for number 41, Tony Rhino.
3rd down, call it 9. 2:11 to go, 4th quarter. Kevin Hughes, nose tackle.
Notre Dame.
Justin Murphy's still in there. A couple of defensive changes. 3rd and 9. Once again, intended for Reno.
For number 41, Tony Rhino, incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down.
Rich Karolian.
Rich
Appears to be
Karolian,
all
number
right because
12,
he's in the
back to
punt.
punt.
punts the ball. That is fielded by Bob Duncanson at the 30. And he bulls his way over the 15 to about the 14. Tigers will have it first and 10 from the 14-yard line. Minute 56 to go in this one, and it's academic. Tigers in front 28-0.
And good evidence tonight why the Tigers were ranked 4th. They really came on. So I was saying before, Notre Dame hung tough, trailed 7-0, and they had their chances, Chris, just couldn't get the ball over the end zone.
Number 10, Scott Palladino, gets a round of applause. He checks in, the smallest player in the hand squad. Peter Metz, the ball carrier, picks up about a yard, 2nd and 9. Palladino, 5'3", 108 pounds. And now checking in as Palladino checks out is Chris DeMarco. Trotting off the field also, Ash Edwards. DeMarco and Bob Duncanson, the ends. Gary Beeson is the tight end. Bryce is the fullback. And Metz, the tailback. Bryce gets the call straight ahead, picks up another couple. Call it 3rd and about 7.
Gain of 3 for Bryce. It'll be 3rd and 6 from the 10.
Hevesy, the quarterback. He should be the QB next year. Metz, lots of running room, cuts it back, takes the ball down inside the 5 to about the 2-yard line. Now for a first down, 36 seconds to go.
That should be enough for a first down.
The Tigers will start getting ready on Monday.
Ball spotted on the Notre Dame 2. First and goal hand
Friday
from the 2.
Be right here at the Surf Club at 7:30. And they'll be taking on the Yellow Jackets of East Haven. And of course, you're watching these games on Monday night. So you will see that a week from tonight.
Straight ahead. Touchdown.
Which is actually Monday night. And it's a touchdown for the Tigers. 34-0. And Wiesbrock will attempt the 35th point. Simmons is backup place kicker. And after the East Haven game, they'll travel up to Maloney and Meriden for a tough one on September the 28th against Maloney. And then we'll be back here at the Surf Club against Benell. It's a Thursday night game. Mark that on your calendar, October the 4th, a Thursday night game. And mark the time also, 7 o'clock, half hour earlier than normal. Flag is down. As
John Weisbach, number 22, on to try the extra point. But there's a flag on the play. Defense offside. Notre Dame penalized half the distance.
Sides, half the distance to the goal. So the ball will come down now somewhere around the 8-yard line. Wiesbrook will have to kick it 18 for the extra point, make it 35-0. The 7-0 game at the half has turned into a rout. Little high snap, Wiesbrock could not get it off quick enough.
Snap and the kick is too low and no good.
It's a little low, partially won. So 17 to go in the ball game. It's the Tigers 34, Notre Dame of Fairfield 0. Wiesbrock is set to kick. And gets a nice boot off. Fielded at the 10 by Gaines. Straight up the middle.
At the 11.
Gaines takes the ball up to about the 27-yard line. 10 seconds to go. Notre Dame of Fairfield has not given up in this game. Penalties cost them late in the first half and early in the second half.
Next Friday night, the Tigers
and
are
capitalizing
home.
a few mistakes.
Yellow Jackets at 7:30. That is the end of tonight's ball game.
That'll do it. As the clock runs out, the final score, the Hand Tigers 34 and Notre Dame of Fairfield 0. Don't forget, a week from tonight, and we'll be in action against East Haven right here at the Surf Club, and game time will be Tigers up to their preseason recognition, ranking them surprisingly, I thought, 4th in the preseason poll. I guess basically going on what happened last year. But they lived up to that preseason ranking. Got 34 points on the board. Had 5 shutouts last season and start off the year with a shutout tonight. First half, I don't think Coach Ciotti was too happy with the work, but little conference at halftime got things rolling, and the Tigers really put it all together, capitalizing here in the second half, Brian.
Well, Chris, they still have Dave Thompson, don't forget, a quarterback who showed that he can do it all. He passed for 2 touchdowns, and he ran for 2 touchdowns. Kevin Piggott, what can you say about him? I'm sure he was up well over 150 yards. We don't have the exact figures on the night, but he showed that he can do the job, and looks promising. After a slow start tonight, they really came out and put it to the Lancers of Notre Dame.
Well, that'll do it here at the Surf Club in Madison. Chris Wallach and Brian May bringing it to you. Don't forget to tune in next week when the Hand Tigers take on the Yellow Jackets of East Haven. You're watching this game on community television, and thanks to our engineer, Bill Littell. For Brian May, I'm Chris Wallach. Have a nice week.
The Hand High football games are brought to you by a grant from First Federal Savings and Loan Association of Madison, serving the shoreline communities for 50 years.